Hello and welcome. This is going to be my first video on a game called Chrono Ark. If you know me, you know I've played this game about 47 hours now on Steam. So my idea here is I wanted to add something a little bit different to the channel because all I've been playing so far is Neon Abyss. So I told myself, just record something or you're never going to put it up on YouTube. So if you don't know this game is a roguelite that takes actions from classic RPGs, and it does have a story. I don't think the story matters too much in my opinion. That's kind of why I wanted to play the game, was to showcase it a little bit. I don't know how long I'm going to be playing this for. It's probably at most going to be a week, a series I wanted to start where I run basically a stress test on a game. So I will play the game for about a week, give my opinions on it, and see if maybe, after watching it for a little bit, if it's worth your time to either buy or play the game. If you want to watch me play more, I'm definitely down to play more. Now, to start off though, they have some NPCs around the map that are pretty much non-relevant. This is your upgrade tree. You pretty much go in here. After you win runs, you get credits. You buy things to affect your run. Once you buy a certain amount, it lets you unlock more things to buy, basically. But we're going to ignore that for now. I'm not sure how popular this game is. So to start a run, you pretty much come over here, and then from here you get to select the characters you want to play with the run. Now the gold outline of the characters means I've won a run with them. I normally play on normal difficulty. I never play on casual. That's just stupid. And expert, I have not tried, but I might be willing to try by the end of the series. I normally record 2 videos at once. We'll see what I do here, because this game could be a little bit long. So I'm just going to play on normal for this run to just start off with, showcase the game, basically show you what's going on. Essentially, every character will have a different ability that you can see here. So for this character, every time you level up, you get a useful potion. So you know what that potion does. You can use that potion accordingly. Or, in the case of Hane, whenever you defeat an enemy, it casts it again with half damage. So I mean, I'm down to do Hane. I kind of like Hane. I think he's pretty good. And I'll do Huz. I think Huz is pretty interesting. So for the normal difficulty, I think most of the game is pretty easy outside of maybe the last boss. And as I say that, I'm going to die. But this is essentially how the game plays out. You have a HUD here, shown by the map. There will be locations to teleport to. Some of the maps get a little bit bigger. And you kind of just run around until you see icons on the map that show you, what's going on. So this is a combat. They usually block a path to somewhere else, or they'll block an event that you have to fight to open up. So to start with, every character basically starts off with basic attacks and basic heals, instead of, anything useful. This is a fixed ability, so you can cast this every turn, but at the cost of 1 extra mana. So this is your mana. This is how much it costs to play. This is fixed ability, so it costs +1. Normally this would cost 0, it costs 1. Also, every time you play a card, you'll see here the cost went up. That's something they call overdrive. So playing a card that has a purple outline essentially means the next card you play with that character is going to cost +1 unless it has swiftness, which you can see right here. Swiftness ignores enemy action count and does not overload. So what's enemy action count is right here. So each time you cast a skill, the action count goes down. When the action count hits 0, the enemy attacks you, and that's their attack for the turn. So in this case, I have Accelerate. Accelerate is 0 mana. Once per combat, you can use it to reduce the cost of another skill by 1 and give it swiftness. So in this case, if I make this cost 0 and give it swiftness, it now won't increase the mana of this. So you can attack with that. And once his action count hits 0, he attacks here. Now this is the health bar, essentially, very obvious. But the green health is pretty much your healing gauge. So your healing gauge indicates how much health you can effectively heal. If you get hit again, the healing gauge would go down unless you have healing gauge protection. There's some cards that do that. But in this case, if she gets hit again, she would lose this. Now, if you finish a combat with healing gauge, your healing gauge restores to full. So in this case, never mind. I was going to say she would heal back to full HP after that, but you'll see. Back to full HP. And every time you do combat, you get loot like this. So this is your main currency, is going to be your soul stones, though. You get 2 soul stones from your first combat, and as you can see here, you level up the character with the soul stone. So a character's active or passive is not active until level 2. So you have to level up a character to get their passive. So I'll show you what her passive does when I level her up, but I think for now it's better to level up Pain. So your soul stones get used in everything. You have increased max mana, increased card draw, or anything like that. A card draw is not what it seems. It actually gives you one of Lucy's skills. So Lucy's skills are indicated here. Every time you pick one of these, you get a choice of 3 of Lucy's skills, which are usually some form of card draw. So in this case, I'm just going to level up Pain to start. And you get, when you level up for the first time, you get, I believe it's like 2 or 3 card choices. You'll see here in a second, but attack an additional enemy facing 1 damage increased by 30. Mutilate, higher single target damage. So Mutilate here has tracking. Tracking is only really applicable to Hane. He's the only character I think that has this. It essentially means it can't be dodged, but if it is dodged, it deals half damage, and it also can't crit, which kind of sucks. This particular card hits a random enemy as indicated in the bottom right corner of the card. Tear Up, you get to target. You can ignore Taunt, so some enemies have Taunt, pretty self-explanatory, and Assault Slash, which hits all enemies. Out of these, I personally think Tear Up's the best. It has a lot more potential for combo with Hane's passive, so I like Tear Up personally. And you have Assault Slash, Intimidation, and Blood Reflux. So Blood Reflux would essentially, it gives the target their healing gauge back, but Hane receives damage equal to that, and you transfer all debuffs to himself, and then he increases his own attack power. And it heal up to 33 of lost health. I've never really used this card too much. I'm not sure how useful it is. I could see it useful with other cards that he gets. But I personally really like Intimidation. I think cards that have Swiftness are generally pretty good. You can stick this on your fixed ability and essentially always have it as useful. For now, though, I think I'll put Tear Up as the fixed ability. I think it's a little bit more useful to have a damage card early. Now this is interesting. So what you can do here is forget a skill. So this event really only shows up on the first floor, and by forgetting Lucy's skill, you lose Accelerate, but you get an option of 3 more interesting skills. So if I do this, I could get Overclock, which is once per battle, draw 5 skills and cast them all on a random enemy, and then Exclude is basically it gets destroyed for the rest of combat. Repeat is view 2 random skills with more than 1 cost from the deck, including discarded deck. Select 1, gain Exclude Swiftness, and discard after 2 turns, and duplicate it until your hand is full. Essentially, you're drawing 2 cards that all have that both have more than 1 cost. You select one, it gets Exclude, which means it'll be removed from combat, and it just duplicates it until your hand is full, which is pretty nuts for some cards. It also gives it Swiftness, so it doesn't worry about overload count. But I personally think Mass Acceleration's pretty good. If you can get a lot of card draw, so what Mass Acceleration does is it will reduce the cost of all cards in your hand by 1, I believe, but it doesn't give them Swiftness. But if you have a lot of Swiftness cards, it can be useful, because if you're reducing all 1-cost Swiftness cards to 0, you just have a bunch of 0-cost cards. So, this is a little bit unfortunate. I'll do is I'll reroll. So, you also have this. So, every turn, you have 1 redraw. Basically, you can discard a card, as indicated by this, and redraw something else. I got Mass Acceleration, which I think is probably pretty good. Actually, probably doesn't matter. Never mind. I also shouldn't have hit him. That was bad. I should have done this. But it's okay. They end turn. They both use their attack. They can't attack this turn. So his action count was 0, essentially. So he played instantly, he just buffed. It's not that relevant. Since I have a lot of ways to kill them, I'm going to heal myself instead. Now, I know the game might be a little quiet, but I'm not sure if there is any, like, copyright to the music in this game, so I kind of turned the game volume down a bit. I'll turn it up a little bit. Up to, like, 30. I don't know how large that is, but... oh, that's better. Turn it up 10 more. That's okay. We'll do that. I think that's more hearable. Apparently the footsteps got really loud, and the chest opening. Let me turn it down a little bit more. It's hard to get the right amount. Music, I'm okay with at 30. Sound effects can go down a bit. I don't care about the sound effects too much. We'll do that. So this is a piece of equipment. Attack 3, healing power 3, evade 3. Each character can hold 2 equipment. You equip it. In that case, it had an unknown effect, which the unknown effect was healing power plus 2, but sometimes can be a curse, meaning you can't take it off and it could have a negative effect. In this case, it was just positive. I also got 2 more soul stones, so I should probably level up my other character. Every time you level up a character, they do get stats. So her passive ability, though, is consume 1 mana to delay an enemy's action count. What this essentially means is if an enemy has an action count of 0, you delay that by opting to use 1 mana to restrain them and push that over to the next turn. So obviously 3 choices here. I could take this, which essentially her healing is, I guess she heals with a whip. Also heal 3 more if the target is below half health. So it's 14 healing, 3 more if they're below half health. But it also puts a debuff on allies for 2 turns that deals 5 damage per turn, which essentially deals 10 damage. But if you fall below 0 health, it removes this debuff and overheals by 7. Essentially meaning it heals you back from death. Carrot Stick buffs an ally and also gives them attack, which every time they hit something, they will produce a heal. And Constrict is just once. Swiftness cannot be a fixed ability, so that's an effect some things have where you can't fix them because they're pretty strong. And debuffs a target by reducing their armor by 10% and increases their chance of getting crit. If the enemy is defeated, you add Constrict back to your hand, and if the buff ends, you add Constrict back to your hand. I think Constrict is a pretty good card. It's not crazy damage, but what you like out of it is that the fact that it's swiftness, you can cast it easily. I also think Domination is really good too. I've heard Life Barrier is pretty good from what I've seen, but I think Domination's pretty good. Cannot be fixed, so for now, what I'll do is I'll fix a Strike, so I have a 0 cost heal here, because right now my mana is not that high, since you spend your soul stones on leveling up your characters. Pretty simple, really. Costs 3 to do that, so I can't do that. I can open up the map. These are the spots you can teleport to. We'll just teleport here. This always indicates the boss fight, as seen here. If I wanted to heal him, the only way I'd be able to do that is by using food, etc. Let's just get into the boss fight. First boss fight's pretty much impossible to die on. What am I going to reroll here? I don't think his heal is that important. So healing is less effective if you don't have any healing gauge, like the green health. I believe it's 3 times less effective. I could be wrong on that. So in this case, I would rather heal her, since the healing is going to be 100% effective on her. If I mass accelerate, this still costs 2 plus 1. I believe it still keeps the 0 cost, though. But I'll use Domination for now. And just attack twice. I think that's fine. You pretty much can't lose this first combat, so I'm not too worried about it. I do wish the boss death animations were a little bit faster. Might save some time, because some of these runs can be very long. So to start with, I think one of the better options is to level up the characters, but definitely you want at least 4 mana in my opinion, and I'll do a card draw. Now, tactical planning is interesting. You're essentially selecting cards to draw, and it does it twice. One of two cards, and you get to choose which one you want, and then you do it again. This just draws two cards, but no choice, but it costs 0. So, I'll probably do tactical plan, I think. It's a little better for now. You get to choose what you want out of your 2 strikes and 2 heals. I do think, since you can't equip the same item, I do think we'll give this to her since she's healing more often than not. Now, every now and then you'll also get skill books. I'm going to save that. Why? Because every in-between floor, you get a heal, like a campfire. A lunch break, if you will. Now, use a camping item means you just use food. And it heals everyone in the party instead of a single person. Recruit, you can do this every couple of floors. And it gives you a choice of, I think it starts off at 3. But once you've unlocked it through credits, you can get a choice of 4. I'm not too sure. Don't know if I need more damage. This kind of indicates their role, but a lot of them also do other things. So she's mainly about healing, and her passive is to select cards to draw. She's mainly about buffing and also has some healing. She has some good cards, but I think right now I would rather have someone to heal. I'd be wrong on that. I might need more damage. I'll go with what I have, though. I think that's probably better. Is a statue over here? No, that's on the next floor. So this essentially is your save. It works kind of like Enter the Gungeon, where if you save and then you load up the game, you're going to show up on the next floor. You see, it's already been 17 minutes and I just finished the first floor because I was too busy explaining a lot of stuff. I apologize. I'm going to try to pick up the speed. This is your classic shop. A lot of the times what you buy from shops are keys. They have skills in here, but I feel like most of them are pretty bad. This is okay if you're running something more poisony. Some of the characters have poison. I'm going to buy it like that. I think that's okay for now. Identification becomes pretty hard to come by because to identify an item it costs 200 base, but buying the scrolls from the shop is 180. So I actually think the scrolls are generally better. That's a luck potion. Pretty good. Increase crit hit and accuracy for the rest of the run. Pot likely to contain something useful. So some of the potions can be bad, but I've never seen... Not never seen. I just think... I also forgot to level up Pressel. That's my bad. I've never seen anything that's just horrible. So you see his action count's 0. I can cast Restraint for 1 mana to deal 10 damage and prevent him from attacking me. Now, this is when I feel like Hane's Tear Up becomes really good because you can cast it on an enemy and kill them and watch. If it hit with the first hit, they would be dead. But it's still fine because they're dead. I should have cast Heal because it costs 0. I understand that, but I wasn't thinking. Healing Coil. So Prophecy is her personal passive. You get to pick a card to draw. If you pick this card, healing someone else also heals herself for 50% of the amount. This one, if you pick this card, it has a 100% crit hit chance, but it does cost 3 mana, so it's like your whole turn early in the game. And then this, I think this is a pretty good card, because you can put this on your fixed ability, and it'll always cast 2 guaranteed. Kill It's pretty good. I think Holy Light's okay too, because if you Prophecy it, essentially it's only costing 1. Kill It is also pretty interesting. Prophecy and Kill It lets you draw something else. But I think for right now, I would rather turn that, fix this. I know that's a lot of mana, but you end up with probably like 6 mana most runs. And for now, I'm going to level up Pain because I feel like I do need another ability. I think a second tear up's good. I don't like identify weakness, believe it or not. I think identify weakness is pretty bad. This buff is removed when you crit hit, but basically guarantees that you crit hit. It's really, unless you have a skill that deals a ton of damage, it's really not that good. Okay. I don't think, I'll leave that on host for now. I think that's okay. This is like your optional fight. You don't have to fight this if you don't want to, but a lot of the times I find almost no reason not to. Restraint, I'm willing to do that. That's why I like tear up, because it's insanely good when you get a situation like that. I know he's going to hit me, or not. Nothing else to do there, so we're gonna reroll an attack, or reroll heal, and the combat. So I do have a key. Every single one of these buildings in specific will require a key to open this. Create a mark. Deals 50 damage for every 6 enemies defeated. This one's pretty good. I don't think it really matters who you throw it on, though. I do still have extended barrier, too. I might throw that on Pressel, just because I don't think her attacks matter that much. I'm not really using her for attacks. Yeah, I'll do that. Piece of bread. That's our boss fight. Meant to go down here. So I really, when I first heard about this game, I thought it was extremely interesting compared to a lot of other roguelites. I like that they took the cost 2 mana. I like that they took the classic RPG elements of like building a party, but also put in roguelike elements essentially, where there's randomness to a run. You kind of like build your own deck. I'm a sucker for deck builders now after Slay the Spire. But this one, for me, is a lot of fun. I know it's hard to get into for a lot of people from what I've been able to read, mostly because of how do I put this? How long a run is, I guess. You're in some of these runs for a while. Also should be teleporting, but there's really nowhere to teleport that's not farther than where I already am. This I don't have a key for, so I shouldn't have even walked in here. I could buy one though. This is an old wooden box. Light's Judgment, what do you do? It heals 28, or you can use it to attack an enemy. Heal damage equal to 130% of healing if cast on an enemy. I'm kind of okay with throwing this on her, because right now I have the other ring on her, which increases healing by a lot. I could also throw it on her, but I don't realistically see myself casting it too much on her, because she's already got other stuff. Okay, there's nothing over here. Let me go to the shop and just buy a key. This pretty much is why the game turns into such a haul, such a long haul. Is little things like this where you have to go back and forth. Attack 10%, crit chance 5%, speed 1. Speed's a nice stat. It essentially means that enemies have less of, like, they have a higher action count when you fight them. Alright, so this is the first major boss. Normally you have a major boss every 2 floors. Making a prophecy. I think Constrict is better. The main gimmick for this boss, and a lot of boss fights have a gimmick, is that you get this, which essentially you're debuffing someone and you have to play it, because if you don't, you discard it and it affects everyone in your party. So you'd rather debuff one person who... Personally, for me, I'll go with her. We'll do this. Is probably the best play, is to run that. Keep tear up, because I know she's going to spawn a couple enemies, and then she just works on buffing them, essentially. Crucifying Curse, I'll spread that out. So how much damage would this do? Would this not do any? It says 0 damage. I've never really used this, but I want to see. Okay, it did 36 damage. That's pretty good. I'll heal. And then you know what I'll do is I'll roll a basic attack, because I think the basic attacks are pretty bad. We'll keep the heal so we can roll it. Receiving damage plus 30. I think Tactical Plan's the better play here. So Weakening Curse. Essentially, you want to make someone weaker. I'll just go with Pressel. Intimidation. Holy Light. I don't really want to Mass Accelerate this turn. I actually don't think it's that good to Mass Accelerate this turn. Oh, I crit. That's okay. We're going to reroll the basic heal. Oh, she got a basic heal, so throw that on Pestle for now. So these debuffs that deal consistent damage, not normally, but always do not affect the healing gauge. So you can keep gaining healing gauge from this, which to me just screams, hey, just throw it out there and let yourself lose HP, because as long as you don't get hit, you're doing fine. 21 damage. If I play Mass Acceleration, we can kill you. Everyone's gonna be full HP. So basically I got Marks of Executioner, which is every create skill. I believe it's every 6 kills you make the Marks of Executioner, which deals 50 damage. It's just generically pretty good. This character doesn't have to get the kill, and that's what let me kill there. This is a relic, which I'll show you in a second. This is credits you get. Everything else here is just generic items. So we're going to pop this, identify this. Increases weakening, debuff success rate, and resist. I believe she's the only one with weakening. Hane might have one on intimidation too. But I'm going to throw it on her because I think it's more important on her. There are some that say, like, increase something for this stage. But, yeah. That one was for the entire run, so it's pretty good. Now this, you can recharge active item is essentially this. It lets you revive someone if they die in the field without having to come to a campfire. And change skills lets you forget something if you don't like it. For now, I'm kind of okay with everything I have. So we'll just rest. There's no recruit here because you don't get it every floor. And at the end, you're going to have a max party size of 4. This is your relic cage. So you can only have 3 relics active. There's no reason not to activate this one right now. Might as well throw it out there. This is the shop. I am willing to fight. So the second floor actually like jumps up the difficulty a lot more compared to the first floor. I think that guy's worse. I can kill him. He dodged. What the heck? Take extended barrier. Tear up. Nice swing, dude. Can't even hit the ball. That's okay. Okay, so it worked out because they all hit differently. So this debuff, every time you play a skill, you're gonna take damage. It's kind of a bad debuff, but it's fine. Okay, that's what we like. Like to see the domino effect. There is no domino effect to be had here. This costs too much. So realistically, I think this is the better play. And then you want to domination, which is a nice 22 damage. I'll heal her. He's not missing much HP. I don't mind that. So now, since it's the boss relic, I get a crucifying curse for my benefits, which is pretty good. This smoke means there's going to be enemies spawning. In this case, I suppose I'll have you heal yourself. It's more than the 2 damage you would take, and I will reroll her attacks since her attacks don't matter. Light's Judgment or Tactical Plan. We'll just take Light's Judgment. I think we're done after this turn. So up here, though, is your turn count. You're supposed to finish turns within this count, because otherwise the fog in the background comes up and you start to take damage. I think I got this. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. I did not have time to mute, because muting on the headset I have is extremely clunky. Double attack's pretty interesting. You can cast it again for free. Reckless Charge, I don't think is pretty good. It is 47 damage and ignores taunt, but I'm not a fan of it. Got 2 keys, so this is fine. Go in here. Received healing plus 33% and speed plus 1. Just throw that on her. Doesn't really matter who gets that right now, because I don't particularly have someone that's tanking. Armor 10. Chance of crit hit 3, heals for 15% of damage dealt. I'll throw it on Hane here because it also increases your chance to ignore debuffs for weakening, which can be helpful. For this, though, I'm not sure who I want to put this on. It's really not as good as you think it would be. So for now, I might just keep it. Other than that, I do have 11 soul stones here, so I'm going to level up her again. I think Purifying Barrier is hard to match. There's not much that can really remove debuffs, so I think Purifying Barrier is pretty good. That should give me 3 card choices now. I'm going to level up her too. Target has a weakening debuff or is defeated by the skill. All enemies are debuffed and take 5 damage. The debuff is attack minus 18%. I kind of like this card. It does a high, flat damage, but it also debuffs them by reducing their attack. So it's in a way it does 2 things. So Rage is interesting. It increases crit chance by 20% and debuff resist power by 20% for 3 turns. But what it also does is you draw, I believe you draw it at the start of battle every time, and if you play it, it buffs all the skills inside the deck, aka anything you haven't drawn, by 20% attack power. The only other choice I'm seeing would be maybe Mutilate for a high damage card, which is probably what I'll do. I know I said earlier that I don't really like Mutilate, but I could use some damage for sure. That's my boss fight. This is just a fight, so we'll do this. Okay with Domination. Well, you gave me Mark of the Executioner. Would be really good on him because I believe it would get cast twice. I didn't think about that. Now that I have thought about it, it seems pretty good. It only deals 12 damage. There's no way unless I roll something and I didn't draw what I wanted. This is going to discard at the end of the turn, but it doesn't give me a kill. I'm kind of okay doing this. These horses are annoying. They hit twice, as indicated by the 2 action counts. I'll take Mass Acceleration. That's okay. We're gonna get the kill right away, but normally the combat would not have ended there, but I believe there was nothing else spawning, obviously, otherwise the combat wouldn't have ended. Normally in that case, if there was something else spawning, you would see, I'll take new mana for now, because I have a lot of cards that cost a lot, and my draw has been okay so far. But you would see the fog pop up immediately after that. So for here, I'm actually kind of tempted to bring this down to her. Crit chance, I don't know if crit chance affects healing. I know heals can crit. If I put this up here, he loses 2 attack, a little bit of crit. But the Mark of the Executioner skill is super good for him. So I think we'll do that. And then what we'll do is probably enchant this. Faint resist 15% is, I believe, another mechanic that, you know, hasn't really been shown here, though. If a character falls below 0 HP, they don't die. You can heal them back up before they get hit again. If they get hit below 0 HP, they die. So, what that implies is... What does this guy do? He stuns everyone, right? What that implies is essentially... We don't need Purifying Barrier. Essentially, I can only play one card here. If a character doesn't get hit while they're below 0 HP, they won't die yet. Any damage they take will kill them, so bleed, DOT, anything like that will kill them. Domination's okay. I can use that for a kill. Might be able to use this for a kill. Not exactly. If I do this, I would be able to use Intimidation for a kill, so that's okay. And Faint Resist makes it so there's a 15% chance you won't die when you take damage below 0% HP, which sounds busted. I know I'm not doing the best job at explaining everything in this game because there is a lot to explain. So the balloons there do an effect when they die to everyone, including enemies, which is kind of why I killed them last, because the green balloon healed. You could reroll this into something else. I really don't think this is that good. I think this is pretty overrated. I say overrated, but I don't know anyone else that plays this game. Attack -2, healing power +12. When the battle starts, give your own skills in the deck once only. But cost for your fixed ability is reduced by 1. That's really interesting. So I could fix this, and it would reduce the cost to 1. I would be able to play Extended Barrier every turn? I mean, that sounds pretty good, dude. Oh wait, you cannot fix it. Never mind. I should have read that. Did this get nerfed? I feel like this used to heal more. How much does it heal here? 10? 22. This will make this cost 1. But it is a huge heal. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this. We'll try it if there is another combat on the floor and see how the combat goes with that. A boss fight might be a little too much because those are a lot longer and once only is pretty bad. We did everything else on this floor, so there is no other fight. I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of scared by this. We'll try it. Anything else I want to do before this? I could level her up, but it's going to be a once only. I could level her up. Something I could fix that's a little bit better. That would cost 3. I think the costs are too high, so I'm not interested. You can only play one fixed ability unless there's a basic fixed ability. So a basic fixed ability lets you play that no matter what. So I don't want too many good fixed abilities. I just want something consistent, is my personal take on that. I'm going to level her up, I think. Healing Coil, Blinking Heal. It's gonna be once only, so what I'm looking for, probably God's Blessing. We'll try that. This is a tank, which is kind of funny because you can do something a little bit interesting with the tank. Because if you have Huz, you can restrain her. Because normally his gimmick is to hit you and put you below 0 HP at the start of combat. We're going to reroll basic attack. It's pretty bad. But we'll mass accelerate this turn, for sure. I should have done that first. Nah, this is just evade chance. I don't think it really makes a huge difference. But I will do this. I mean, he's almost dead on the first turn. He lived with 3 HP. So this is Death's Door. If you take any damage, you will die unless you have Faint Resist. And the funny thing is, it doesn't matter because he's dead. Ten turns. Should have put the cap at 2 turns. All debuff resistance increased by 50%. Evade chance increased by 3%. So this will be my next recruit, which will be my whole team. This one you get will start 2 levels up, I think. Yeah, +2. So, I don't know if I need damage, but I kind of don't want Ironheart, because I'm not healing a lot. His whole gimmick is to make excess healing into barriers and play it for damage. So he turns healing into damage. His gimmick is max HP and crowd control. He's just high damage for high cost cards. She is a lot of card play. I'm wondering if I can get away with 2. Because I kind of want to do Trisha. I know Ironheart I have not won with yet, but that's because I suck with him, quite frankly. So since she starts off leveled up, I'm going to have to go through her card draw, but this is her passive ability. Every 4th skill will cost it 0, so you kind of want to play cheap stuff until you get an expensive card. Swiftness, ignores taunt, can be recast on undamaged targets. Pretty good for what I think I have going on right now, compared to the other options. This is select skill and duplicate it. It becomes Shadow Illusion when discarded, which basically means playing it will change it to Shadow Illusion again, I believe. I could be wrong on that. But this is kind of interesting because it does count towards your 4 skill plays, and it costs 0 to start with, so you could copy something that's cheap or copy something that's expensive and make that your 4 cost. An Illusion Strike is choose one for bleed or reduce aggro. This is pretty good too. I think bleed is really strong, especially if enemies have multiple attacks, because it'll proc twice. It'll do like 16 damage instead of just 8. I do think Shadow Illusion is pretty good too, but they both ignore taunt. I'm kind of down for Shadow Illusion though. Shadow Step. Create a random attack skill owned by an ally, or Backstab. If none of her skills are in hand, gain a chance to stun the target. So Backstab is just high damage. This is lower damage once Swiftness ignores taunt, or Illusion Strike. I just did say Illusion Strike is pretty good. I'll do Illusion Strike. And then Shadow Curtain is only once evade 1 attack. I really don't think it's that good. I'm not a fan of it, so I'm going to take a second Illusion Strike and hopefully use Bleed. Got some identification scrolls, so I'm willing to identify some stuff. Attack power increase during this run probably goes to him. Is this potion for a child? Yes, you are the child, and it is for you. So this is a little over halfway. Crit chance -3, accuracy +8. I'm okay with that on her. I would prefer if she just hits and then gets the bleed guaranteed. Not sure if the bleed's a debuff or an accuracy thing though, because sometimes they are different. I forgot I don't have a key, so there's no reason to go in here. Teleport. Alright. It's a lot of enemies. Could also take God's Blessing here. I have Tactical Plan already. Tear Up plus Tear Up. It's gonna cost 3. Kind of okay with this though. Did not kill. I'm gonna reroll her heal. Too expensive. I'm gonna play Illusion then. We'll take Mutilate and Purifying Barrier. So drawing like that very clearly did not activate Prophecy because it only procs on Prophecy. was kind of hoping you weren't gonna do that. This really looks worse than it is, for sure. What we want to do is weaken all of them, so that way Hane can kind of get a combo going here. So what we want to do is this, and that's what you see. Normally when you're in a situation like this, I think it's a good idea to heal everyone. So this guy does AoE damage. We could take extended barrier. Want to heal. Do blue, so that reduces your aggro taken. She's gonna heal to full anyways, so I'm okay with this. Perfect play. Everyone's full HP still. Identification. I think the potions are generally better to identify than the scrolls. The scrolls are kind of generically good. There's really not many bad scrolls. This, you give it things, and it sometimes give you things. That was horrible English, but I'm no English major. Harley Quinn duplicated herself, and this is a result. Alright, so we do have Mark of the Executioner, which is pretty... Yeah, I didn't expect it to not work the way I wanted it to work, but that's what happens. So this is 20 damage. It's gonna kill no matter who I play it on. Intimidation isn't really that good though. I shouldn't be worried about really getting an intimidation kill here, especially because dodge. We still get the kill though, because you'll die to bleed. Alright, one enemy. What do you think this is? I know I won't be able to play this Constrict. That's okay. Mutilate, God's Blessing. I think God's Blessing is the better play. We're gonna reroll that, which is pretty bad. Shadow Slash isn't that good here because I kind of messed it up. I think I'm gonna play this and Constrict. Alright. Play this, and then we'll play Mutilate, which I think kills both of them just off of pure stats, which is pretty good. I say which a lot. I just realized that. That's like maybe 20% of the reason I'm playing games on YouTube right now, is to help myself talk. I don't know what I'm thinking, but I was trying to move this. I want to give this back to him, and then you can have that. So I would definitely like an improved vocabulary. It's part of the goal, is to increase my vernacular. No, I'm not trying to use these words on purpose. It's the only word I could think of at the time to say. I'm okay with God's Blessing here. 25% attack power. Light's Judgment, I think, is just gonna kill. I want to try to get a domination, or not domination, a tear up combo going. So we're gonna hit you twice, and then we'll tear up. That should, yeah, that's one thing about this game. Dodge chance. She normally just heals, so it really is not that bad. I still have tear up here too. I'm gonna pull Mutilate. Wombo combo, Happy Feet. I just realized I have 14 soul stones I haven't really been doing anything with. I'll level her up to get rid of the heal. I think that's fine. Apply bandage is heal 10, remove a random pain debuff. If no nutrition skills are in hand, draw 1. I actually do kind of like apply bandage. Interestingly, I think the removing a random pain debuff is really good. The reason I'm not messing with a fixed ability is because Hane's fixed ability is normally what I'm going to be casting anyways. I'm going to go for another mana and start going for some card draw. Check the order of skills in your deck and draw 1, or a second tactical plan. I'm going to go with the tactical plan. I kind of want to remove this. We'll see though. I don't really care if I have that there, and I prefer to have this. Slippers are not that good. Okay, medical booklet is insane. Mask destroyer is bad. An identification scroll is always good to purchase in my opinion. Healing potions okay. Medical booklet immediately goes to her. I think it's okay to keep it instead of forgetting anything. So once you have like 5 skills, you have the option of forgetting a skill if you're willing to throw it out. So there is a version of this where that you give it food. Healing power plus 3, evade plus 6, evade plus 5. It's 11% evade, and you can't remove this. It can't be unequipped. So once I equip this, it's there permanently. What do I have right now on her? I'm kind of the opinion to keep it. Excuse the voice crack there. To keep it and save it for the last boss. So the last boss is interesting. In the second phase of the boss fight, he kind of messes with your fixed abilities. So I think the staff she has for the fixed abilities is pretty bad in the last boss fight. This is receive damage 20, receive healing 33, weakening accuracy 20, max health 4, and attack 2. I don't think this is that good. What do you get? Armor 10, crit chance minus 10. No, lifting scroll wouldn't change anything, so that's okay. I'm glad it's not the other boss. I think the other boss is a lot harder. So the gimmick for this boss is pretty much... Yeah, I'll do God's Blessing at the start here. The gimmick for this boss is essentially... Cleanse. Can be used 4 times. Yeah, so this is the gimmick. If they hit you, they will leave a debuff, or have a chance to leave a debuff that makes you take damage from casting skills or increases the mana to cast a skill. Kind of interesting. So they share an HP pool too. This one has more armor, this one has more dodge chance. So evade 30%, you can see in the top right, and the resist is the same to like weakening, CC, and pain, but this one has 25% armor and less evade. So if you want to do consistent damage, it's better to hit this one. If you want to try to do higher damage, it's better to hit this one. Now, I think Tear Up is insanely good on this boss fight because you're essentially getting 2 bonuses out of it. That's pretty good. I don't even have to cast Cleanse, which you only get 4 of in this combat because she has the ability to remove debuffs. Is this a once? No, this isn't a once. We'll do it then. I'm not too worried about hitting the one with armor instead of the one with HP. Or the one with dodge chance. Sorry. I think grabbing Holy Light here is a little bit better because we can do that. I know it's not crazy good, but to do that, but I really am of the opinion that it doesn't matter. So the one that increases your mana cost by 2 does not affect your fixed abilities. So for Hane, it's not going to be that bad until I get something I really want to play. I think Intimidation I don't want to play, so we're going to get rid of it. This should be our Crucifying Curse turn, too. See that? I do really want to keep stacking Bleed. But I think we'll get Constrict here. That will restrain you. This is their combo attack turn. They're going to hit everyone. I'm going to remove it from her. We'll do this. Of course you dodge. Alright, end turn. So you can't reroll Cleanse, so there's no reason to do that. I want to keep Medical Booklet, because I think Medical Booklet is really good. Alright, so as you can see, now would be a good time to cleanse, because he'll lose all of his debuffs. Mass Acceleration, Illusion, Strike, Attack Plan, or Light's Judgment. I'm kind of okay with this for now. We're gonna cleanse him. I know the negative there. I know what I did. She's in counter stance, so if I hit her, then she'll retaliate. Alright. I'll do Mass Acceleration, mostly because what I'm looking at here is to cleanse her, play Medical Booklet. Oh, she can draw Light's Judgment. That's pretty good. Because I think you're dead. Or, apparently, you're gonna counter me even though I didn't hurt you. Beautiful. I don't think it matters if Hane dies, so I'm just gonna ignore it. She's still full health. Unfortunately, I have not really been attacking with her because she's had the increased mana cost for like half the fight, so I kind of just ignored. I might have to break this into two parts because this is already going to 57 minutes. Armor 15%. I don't really want to break it into two parts though, because it kind of defeats the purpose of what I originally wanted to do with it. It's just such a long game to play. Each run is like minimum an hour. It could be because I'm playing slow, but this is actually how I feel. Something's bumping. Not like music, like actually bumping. I really don't think there's any more need to cast more of them. Or cast to eat more of them. Armor, crit, receive, and crit. Armor, crit -3, accuracy +8. I think this is a better. Kind of just makes her tanky for no reason, though. I will say that. Alright. I don't have a relic after that. So this is the graveyard. Enchant equipment. I will enchant probably this. I think is the more approachable thing to enchant. That's kind of funny. Armor caps, but she has 35% armor now. My shop, I might as well do it. I did see my 7 soul stones there. Domination, God's Blessing. I really like Domination, but these enemies can be really bad. I'll say that. So Shadow Slash. Shadow Slash. Looking at Tear Up, I think. This does a lot of damage. Domination. Maybe. Oh, it didn't do enough damage. This sucks. Yeah, just don't hit the same person twice. Of course you did. Of course you did. That's okay, though. I don't think this does enough damage. Constrict. You really want to kill these guys ASAP. Thanks for the crit. Thanks for the insane combo, too. That's pretty good. Play Constrict there. I'll reroll Tactical Plan, but it ended up not working out, so it doesn't matter. Just don't attack immediately? Yeah, that happens a lot. That's one thing I don't like about Hane there, is you killed 2 enemies with the single attack, and it decides not to cast it twice, because I guess it was a single attack. Tell you what. I would like to keep the Swiftness Scroll, but I have to discard something. It'll be this. Alright, so this revives an ally, which is pretty necessary. I just think that was an unlucky combat. I'm gonna be honest. Healing Fountain, I think, is pretty good too. Combined attack. Create a random attack skill and give it exclude. Its cost is reduced by 1. That sounds pretty good. Wooden Bat. Attack plus 20, accuracy minus 8. I'll think about it. I'll keep it in the back of my head. Another combat. Don't forget, though, you also have a level up. I could have taken another Mutilate, but I decided on another one of those. She really doesn't have much healing power. Constrict. I don't know if I want to do another one, though. I'm interested in doing 2 of these, only because the debuff. And then other than that, no one else can level up. I do think card draw would be pretty good. I don't have much good card draw, which in my opinion, I think this is good card draw. Alright. I think out of all of these, Domination is the best. Alright, we're gonna play that. And then play that. And then probably play that, but then he dodges. Okay. Well, what is with the dodging, dude? She's only at 2, so she's not gonna hit 3. I think Intimidation's not that good, so we're gonna ignore it. Okay, Death's Door. Please don't. Please don't. Please. I hate you. Oh my god, I should have healed. I still think, believe it or not, I can make it through this floor. I hate this game sometimes, though. Alright. Probably should have healed with Light's Judgment. It's okay. What do you mean I can't take this? What do you mean? You're telling me I can only stack 2 of them? What the heck? We're gonna get rid of them. I really don't want to, though. I want to save that. I'm just gonna get rid of a random scroll, then. Because I think that's better. Healing Potion can be used during combat. Food cannot, so I'll do food for now. I'm not even gonna take that. Yes, I'm sure. I just had it. You think I want it? think it's okay to use some of this stuff. I just don't know what. I'm also running around and not even teleporting. Happens a lot. Alright, so I got 4. I can do card draw, which I don't think is that good. Can I heal her? Nope, doesn't work. Alright, so this guy is pretty bad. Continuous draw. It does drop his action count, though. And I don't really want to do that. Actually gonna reroll Intimidate. There's no way we're gonna kill him before his action count hits 0, so I think what you do here is Illusion Strike. I could Shadow Slash here. Probably should have done it on him in hindsight. Is this a pain debuff? It's not, it's just a debuff. Alright. This should be fine. Yep. We're good. A scroll, huh? What do you want me to say? I don't know what it does. Is it just as good as the other scrolls? 8. More mana. Level up Pain. Level up Trish. Honestly, I think I should level up her and give her a heal. Carrot and Stick I like more than basic attack. So I'll put Carrot and Stick on my fixed ability, which essentially does not fatten my deck more and removes something that was previously useless. I do think this is probably bad. Debuff Resist. Well, in the end it doesn't matter. We're gonna take Potion. Yes, I'm pretty sure. It's been 1 hour and 7 minutes. I'm trying to speed up my gameplay, I swear. It might not look like it, but that's just the kind of game it is. If only I could speed myself up through this entire year. Haha. Like that joke hasn't been made before. Alright, goodbye, scroll. Dead End. I don't think Dead End is good. Honestly, I'm gonna be realistic. Dead End is pretty bad. Bread. Give me the bread. Could level up Pain for more damage. I'm kind of tempted to do this because I feel like I need more damage. I'm also kind of tempted to level up her. We could put this on a fixed ability and use Illusion Strike like every turn. Alternatively, I could put Shadow Slash on a fixed ability. Level her up. I'll do Backstab. It'll be my only form of CC, so I'll do it. 6, okay. I could level up her, but she's dead. I don't think this brings her back from the grave. And by I don't think, it's I know. Also, teleport. As you can see, the map gets pretty freaking big. Oh boy. Who would I be? Who would I be? I do think Merciless Explosion is really good. Twice the amount of health loss. So it's essentially 38 damage plus the 23 damage that it already does. Which, I mean, you're looking at 61 damage, right? Yeah, 61 damage. Which is pretty good. But I'll do Rage. Because I think Rage is going to be more consistent. And I'm a little scared of this boss. That's why we have 3 small barrier generators. Oh, jeez. Essence is cast on a target at the end of this turn. So this, essentially, it's going to target whoever has a card on top. We'll play Rage, it's going to target her now. So I really look at this as... Start off with this. You'll dodge. That's great. We'll mass accelerate. We're going to constrict you. Then we're going to hit you. We're going to hit you. Yeah, you dodged. We'll play this then. And then I will also play this. Which means you think, oh, you don't have any skills in hand? It's going to hit her because she was the last one with the skill in hand. That's okay, though. I think to start with, it's not that bad. Wait, never mind. It's going to hit him because I'm stupid, apparently. This is a pain debuff. We can actually get rid of it. What just did? 15... Attack ally. Attack ally? Who had attack ally? Excuse me? Alright. So we're gonna roll this. That's better. Throw this there. Throw this here. I can carrot and stick, but if I carrot and stick, we're not gonna get any healing out of it until next turn. So the reason I don't want this to hit him again is if Death Sentence hits him again, it'll deal 20 damage to everyone. So I'm going to actually throw on a barrier. I don't know that you can resist this. I kind of think you can't. I could be wrong. So this is what we're going to do for now. Ability, debuff, resist. Mark of Death. She's actually going to live, which is fine. He dodged, as usual. So I gotta pick her skill, for sure. And I gotta pick Continuous Draw. I think she is dead, though. I don't think there's any way I can save her. But realistically, throw on 24. Ay. I could stun him, but I'm not stunning what I want to be stunning. Yeah, if I stand by, I still can't stun what I really want to be stunning. We'll just stun him, though. That way he doesn't attack. I think, actually, that turn he was going to summon. So it might be okay. She's just going to die, which is a little bit unfortunate. Okay. Illusion Strike here. I mean, this turn is gonna suck. %crit chance. I will play that. And then you know what? I'll play Rage. And then I guess we'll draw Intimidate and Mass Acceleration. And then reroll Intimidate, because I don't really like it. Yeah, this is going to be 20 true damage, and now he's going to die. And she's going to die. Alright, that's it. We're finally free. I played that last floor really bad. But that'll do it. If you stayed to the end, thank you so much for watching. If not, I don't fault you. Because this was an hour and 14 minutes, but I'm gonna try again and I'll play a little faster next time, hopefully. But thank you so much for watching. Leave a like down below if you like the video, comment if you got anything you want to say, and subscribe if you're interested in what I make. I'll see you in the next one.